It is normal of Kenyans to demand that the bill be rejected in totality, because after all, they are the taxpayers.
But at the end of the day, we need those taxes.
Yes. And you know, who wants to bear an extra burden besides what we're already bearing as people? So it is normal and justifiable at it for people to demand that all those taxes be dropped in totality. But at the end of the day, it is also good to note that when we have budgetary estimates, and you know, the budget has the revenue side and it has the expenditure side. The revenue side is where the finance bill and appropriation bill comes in, because the finance bill is the one that provides formulation on how the revenue shall be collected. You cannot collect money that is not based in a law. The lawyer would explain that better. That for you to collect any money from Kenyans, you have either to institute it in a law or to amend a law that suggested otherwise. So the finance bill comes in to provide a formulation through which whatever suggested, whatever income collecting method is suggested is implemented legally. Then there would be the appropriation bill that instructs withdrawal of funds from the consolidated fund for usage by the ministries. So we definitely must have a finance bill that will guide us into collecting these levies and the taxes. What is most important is our MPs to look into the bill and become sober arbitrators between the government and its people. They know the burden we are bearing as a people, but again, they also know the need for finances by the national government, and therefore they must arbitrate between the two, rejecting some, accepting some, because the government has its own projection in ordinary revenue that it is estimates to collect through taxation. And this bill was going to help the government to collect around 350 to 400 billions, with the government estimating or projecting to collect 2.9 trillion in terms of ordinary revenue that comes through taxation, part of which is to be anchored in the finance bill. Then if you reject it in totality, you're already increasing the budgetary deficit from the 514 to say what the bill was to collect. If it was to help the government to collect an extra of 400 billion, then you are increasing the deficit to almost a trillion by rejecting this one. But again, if you strike a balance between, like what I've seen them do, apparently they've removed the motor vehicle circulation tax. They've removed the eco tax, I'm not so sure. They are proposing to lower...
And the bread as well.
The bread as well.
But this is just what we are hearing from the leaders.
I think it is formal. As for the precedent by the Finance Committee yesterday, those are the things they informed us. So we would expect that is, so far, that is consensus. That as a Finance Committee, after looking at all the proposals and the memorandums that were issued by the people during the participation, they've agreed to remove those ones. So at least the bill that will be tabled in Parliament has already undergone some changes, a little bit favorable to Kenyans. And the MPs still have a say, because they will be discussing the bill. They could still propose further changes.